Hey guys, welcome back to Persona 1, otherwise known as Revelations Persona. And sorry if I sound kind of weird or a little bit out of energy today. I'm not feeling all that great. I felt myself getting sick last night, and well, it's not gotten much better. My throat feels really bad, but I still wanted to record this because it's time for us to go ahead and finish Revelations Persona. This is a stream series that I did here on the channel, but I knew that by the end of it, the grinding that would be required to get to the very end of the game was going to be so incredibly long that I just was not going to do that on camera. And then the very small amount of game that's left afterwards just wouldn't be fun to really watch on like stream and stuff like that. So I decided the final episode of Revelations Persona should be pre-recorded. So we're here in a pre-recorded sense, just like how we did with SMT If and SMT2. But we're here in SMT, or Megami Ibunroku Persona, to be more accurate, to finish up this game. And I'll tell you guys, the grind has been so incredibly fucking boring that I ain't gonna fucking deal with it. As you saw at the very beginning of the video, I was able to fuse all of the personas for the characters, but there's a bit of things that I don't really like about that. Breeze is now at level 67, Maki's at 65, 66, but the rest of the characters, we have Nanjo at like 55, 56, we have Mark at 47, 48, and we have Reiji at like 49, 50. So these characters, Nanjo, Mark, and Reiji, are not going to be getting their final personas, sadly. Nanjo requires a level of 60, Mark requires a level of 59, and Reiji requires a level of 58 to use their final personas, to use their ultimate personas. But because that grind is so incredibly boring, and I've been grinding for like weeks, really, grinding for like a couple of weeks, it's just been so incredibly boring grinding for this. But yeah, I'm just not going to be able to show off those final personas, though I can still go into the reasons why each persona represents each character. So because I'm not going to be able to show off those final personas because of the ultimate grind to finish it off, I at least want to show off each of the personas and go into detail, because I already did with Maki's final persona. I believe that everybody else should deserve at least a little bit of a look into why their personas are why they are. So first off is the final persona of the main character, Naoya, and that is Amon-Ra. It's called Ra here, but the full name is Amon-Ra. And if you don't know what Amon-Ra is, it is a, what's it called? An Egyptian god. I mean, at least Ra is an Egyptian god. As told by the MegaTen wiki, Amon-Ra is the combination of the gods Ra and Amun from Egyptian and Berber lore. Amon-Ra represents the essential that's hidden, and Ra represents the revealed divinity. He has no parents and created himself. He was the king of the gods and one of the most well-known alongside Osiris. So, I guess trying to explain why Ra is the ultimate persona of the main character is kind of hard, since main characters in the Persona series don't have a ton of character, really. The character that gets put into them are usually from the player themselves and from what the characters say about the main character. And Naoya doesn't really have much other than being the leader of all these people. And I guess Ra makes sense, since Ra is the god of gods in, Egyptian mythology, but there's not much of other reasons why Ra is extremely important to have as a final persona, or at least to have in the final bits of the game, which is the reason why I've spent so much time grinding up the main character, and he was the only one that I wanted to grind, really. And that's because of one attack on this list that's going to be very important from the final boss, which means I had to rank him up to rank 8, which is awful, but I got it done. So that's the main character's ultimate persona. Now, he can't use all these in here. Let's see. For Nanjo, let's see. His final persona is actually Alfred. Now, if you remember from the very beginning of the game, Alfred was the name of Nanjo's butler, otherwise known as Yamaoka. So, Yamaoka is not a, mythological character. Yamaoka is really just Kei Nanjo's butler, who died at the very beginning of the game saving somebody. And it kind of makes sense that Yamaoka would be Nanjo's final persona, since Kei doesn't really have like a father or mother figure. Yamaoka was the one that raised him his entire life, so therefore him having his father figure as his ultimate persona kind of makes sense. And throughout the entirety of the game, you watch Nanjo become less of like a stuck-up like rich boy and relate more to the characters that he's around, his friends, and that's what Yamaoka wanted him to have at the very beginning of the game. He liked that his like somewhat son was starting to have friends, so Nanjo starting to like actually relate to the rest of the characters and become friends with them was what Yamaoka wanted him to do. So it kind of fits in that same way. There's no real other reason behind it. And it also goes to show that for some reason I had thought that Kei's like arcana was justice, but no, it's judgment, which is very interesting because judgment arcanas in Persona games are very much different than other arcanas, since stuff like Fool, World, and Judgment are very related to a story selected like social link later in the series. But we'll get to social links in a much later game. The Persona series does not have that yet. Next up is with Mark. His final persona is here. It's called something fucking stupid. Nope, not that one. It's this one. This thing is called Demo. That's not its name. Mark's final persona is actually Susanoo. Susanoo looks really weird here, like horribly fucking awfully weird. He looks like a skeleton stripe man, but it represents the chariot arcana. And if you know anything about Japanese mythology, you'll know quite a bit about like Susanoo. But as told by the wiki, Susanoo is known as the powerful storm of summer and is the Shinto god of the seas and storms, and the brother of Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun, and Tsukuyomi, god of the moon. All three were spawned from Izanagi when he was washed his face clean of the pollutants of Yomi, the underworld. Let's see. And that's kind of it. Susanoo is like some kind of... He's not meant to be a destroyer god, but he is like a warrior god. And like... I don't really know how it fits with Mark. Mark's a much more, like... He's not really chaotic, but he's a much more rebellious young man. Like, he likes, graffiti and all this kind of stuff that's a lot more counterculture kind of stuff for the time in Japan. So, I guess a god that is seen as, like, a destructive god kind of fits in that way. I don't really... There's probably a much better explanation, but that is Mark's ultimate persona. And when I saw it fused, I was like, this thing doesn't look anything like Susanoo from any of the other games, because Susanoo is usually depicted as being just a like a fucking dude. But this one, he's like a weird skull demon. And actually, I just saw his like official art, and he looks a lot cooler in there. So yeah. Then finally, Reiji's final persona is called something really stupid here. It is Mondo. This is also known as the god Mott, and Mott is a persona that shows up a shit ton in a bunch of games and in a lot of the MegaTen series, but it's another Egyptian god. Mott, also known as Mavet. Oh, he's not Egyptian, he's actually Canaanite. Interesting stuff to learn. Is a Canaanite personification of death. Also associated with infertility, drought, and the underworld. He lives in the city, in the throne city, which goes by the name Hemri. A pit is his throne, and filth is the land of his heritage. According to another text, he holds the scepter of the widowhood and the scepter of bereavement. Let's see. He is prominently featured in the mythology of Urgerate, but some mentions survive later in Phoenician texts as well. But, like, what does he represent? Mott was considered to be the beloved of El... Let's see. Few references in the Bible also appear to be a memory of Mott, such as vague mentions of seemingly personified death in a bunch of the books of the Bible. But what is his meaning? I don't really know. but he's a god of death, which, you know, represents the Death Arcana quite well, and is like a giant, like, coffin filled with a demon. So, would have been cool to use, but sadly, because of how high-leveled each of these personas require their user to be, it means that they can't really use them. I also made some random personas while fucking around. When we even have the main character's original persona, I just kept him around for some odd reason. But yeah, those are the ultimate personas of the main characters. And we already went over Verdandi in the stream that comes before this episode. So, yeah, so sad that we can't use all of their ultimate personas, but I have fused them and went over at least what they are. So, it's really cool that you can get ultimate personas even in the first game. Sad that it requires such dedication to get them. The experience, that's one of the things that ticks me off about this game. I really do like Revelations Persona. Story's pretty good. Gameplay's pretty good. The one thing that fucking irks me is the experience system. How awful it is, but that's what the, what's it called? Remake is for. But don't worry, we'll go over the remake someday. Either way, now that we have all the ultimate personas, we can leave Igor, Nameless, and Belladonna to their infinite blue room. See ya, Igor. Last time we'll see him in this game, at least, you know, in this game. Anyway, now that we are pretty goddamn stacked, and Breeze is like the highest level character again, we can now start going through the rest of the Avidya world to go ahead and take on Pandora, just like May had told us about earlier. But the Avidya world is like a 4-stage dungeon. It is quite long. I don't think it's the longest dungeon. I still think the Deva Yuga is probably the longest dungeon, but it's gonna be one to get through, I tell you. It's gonna be something, but either way, that means we have to fight our way through the rest of the dungeon, which encompasses fighting just a bunch of random ass demons. I did go and try and grind Nanjo up to level 60. There's a completely different dungeon that is like completely optional in the original game, and that's called, what was it called? Nomikyo Ruins? It's in the top left of the entire map. But the thing is, the further you go down, the stronger demons get. You find the strongest level demons like in their 60s at the very bottom of that dungeon. The sad thing is there's no save point, at least in the original version. So therefore, you can never actually get out of that ruin. Which is not great, because if you go down there and fight really strong demons and you die, well, you're going to lose all that experience gain. So I did die down there, and I was like, I cannot suffer this grind no more. I cannot suffer it. So I was like, well, it's real sad that we can't use ultimate personas. We can at least show them off, because I was indeed able to do them. Because what you got to do is, using those totems that we got from our alternative self in the Amala Caverns, or whatever the hell it's called, we were able to get those totems. And you need to fuse the totems with 2 demons that will make a persona that have the arcana of the ultimate persona you're trying to create. Like, if you're trying to create the main character's ultimate persona, what you need is 2 demons that will create an emperor persona, then put in the Rosetta Stone, or it's called something really dumb in the English version, together with it to create Ra. So that's how you do that. Also, I'm just running these battles on replay at this point, because Ra and Verdandi are pretty much all you need to get through the rest of this fucking dungeon. Because I think when the developers first decided, like, the difficulty of the Avidya world, they probably expected the player to not know how to create the ultimate personas. So they're expecting you to walk in with pretty strong personas, but not incredibly strong personas. Which is the complete alternative of what we're doing, since we're walking in with the strongest personas possible. Technically not the strongest, because there are, like, level 99 personas, which, if you ever grind a level 99 in this game, my hat goes off to you to how much fucking time you wasted in your life. So, if you get that, I think the strongest persona in the game is, according to the fusion calculator, which I can bring up while I'm waiting for this battle to end, it's level 99 and it's Lucifer. So, he would be a hell of a thing to make. But, I don't recommend doing that grind. Really don't recommend it. But, seeing as this is going to be the final episode of Revelations Persona, I guess I can start going into my final thoughts about Persona 1. And, well, it's got charm. it's got charm in a very, very odd way. It is a game that is the first of its kind in its own way. It's not the first 3D MegaTen game. That honor goes to a different game that is also tangentially canon to the Persona series, but it was like the first one to be the first 3D MegaTen game that came out here in the States. I think it might have been even the first MegaTen game to come out in the States, like, just on its own. But it's very, very obtuse. Earlier MegaTen games, I feel, had much less, like, obscurity placed around their, like, mechanics, because in early MegaTen games, you just need to have, you had one singular level, you get that single level up, you can create any kind of demon you want. Of course, you'd have to go out and negotiate with the demon, which is another thing in this game, but, like, you could just get them. In this game, the two different level features, while cool in theory to, like, reward you on either your physical attacks or persona attacks, there's literally no reason to never use a persona attack because it'll level up both. So really, it just feels like you handicap yourself out of making higher level personas because you didn't focus on leveling your persona level if you're trying to go for, like, a classic-esque run. It really just feels like a waste of time where I wish they were just both one level, which I see what they were trying to do. It just didn't work out all that well. I like the idea. Its execution just was not all that great. And the negotiation system, while way more advanced than the contact system in earlier MegaTen games, it's horribly obtuse as well, because you're never going to know which one is going to actually, like, make the demon like you. And I like that each demon is much more different in the way that they want to be negotiated with. It's just so horribly obtuse that I do not understand the feature almost at all. It's a fun feature, but if you're playing it without any kind of guide, which is what I didn't do, you're just going to be so confused by the end of it and not want to have to deal with the mechanic anymore, which is not all that great. Earlier MegaTen games, sure, negotiation was a little bit complicated, but, like, you just raise your charisma and you pick the better options, you can negotiate pretty easily. But in here, negotiation just seems so obtuse because you've got so many options. It's like each character has 4 different reactions they can use to talk to a demon, and a demon has, like, 4 different emotional states. And the only one that actually matters to recruiting is interest. And how are you supposed to communicate to a player how that works without, you know, using a manual or anything like that? And it's just kind of complicated in that way. And I like complicated games that have complicated, like, features like that, but, like, when it's so obtuse that you can barely understand what's going on, there's a little bit of a problem. A small bit of a problem. I like it, and I think the main thing about this game is that the execution was not great, but the ideas were great. And the ideas would take on different lights as the series goes on. But for now, you can definitely tell this is an early 90s RPG that has pretty shit translation that really doesn't help English speakers understand what's going on, but is still, in my opinion, a ton of fun. I think what really carries this game forward is its style, its music, and its gameplay. Or not its gameplay, its story, and somewhat its gameplay. And the gameplay, like the battle gameplay, I think is still pretty fun. Like, ranking up personas, while it's annoying, I like the idea. And just, like, how everything works, how it looks and stuff like that, I think the battle mechanics are good. Dungeon crawling, maybe not as much, but I think the battle mechanics are pretty damn solid. The story, though it seems kind of basic, compared to, like, different stories later in the future, this is still, like, a pretty complicated story versus the old MegaTen games where, like, SMT1, you're walking around Tokyo, the world gets destroyed, now you gotta stop apocalyptic Tokyo. SMT2, now you have to defeat all the angels inside of the angel city and stuff. SMTF, your school gets transported to hell, and you gotta fight through it. But, like, Persona 1 feels a much more complicated story because you go all over the place with a couple of different twists that just kind of show up over time. And I just think, like, while that's not complicated, it is still very interesting, and a lot of the themes that encompass Persona start here and then go forward, which I think is a really cool idea, that ideas from the first game are still being used in modern Personas to this day. And I just think that's pretty goddamn cool. The style, really great style. The graphics, while like half 2D and the other half are 3D, I think even the basic 3D like dungeon crawling stuff still looks really good for the time. And like the cutscenes, I think look really cool. The art is really cool. The sprite art is really cool. I think that works really well. And the music, super atmospheric, horribly atmospheric to the point of it being sometimes like very scary. But like, you know, that's a good thing. I view that as a good thing. And I see that as like something that you got to remember about this game. Because this game can sometimes just get like really scary with how it's like noises act. Like if you were playing this like on a CRT back in the 90s in your dark ass like childhood room trying to figure out this game, I think this game would freak the fuck out of me. And I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea that it would freak the fuck out of me. Like, you don't want a game to be so scary that you're never going to want to play it, which, you know, some people love the shit out of horror games. I'm not a big fan of horror games, but this game has the horror elements that I think fit the best for a game that is still trying to be a video game. So if that makes sense in some way. Either way, I think the sound design and the music are just really great. Like the atmospheric, echoey rock stuff just really fits all the battles and stuff. And the sound design from all the characters being a little bit stupid, but still being like iconic as hell, and then all the demons making noises as well. I just think it's a great sound design. So there are great things about this game. There are bad things about this game. It is the first in the Persona series, so it's going to have a couple of hitches, but I think it works well enough to what I would have wanted it to be. So for now, that is my final thoughts on the game. It might change depending on how the final boss goes, but while it's not my favorite Persona game, and it's not my favorite story, I still think I can respect it for what it is and just love it for what it is as well. So those are final thoughts going into the final part of the game. Of course, as any final part can change my thoughts as we go along. So yeah, I will still say I am still feeling quite sick and having to do all this talking. Not a great use on my voice. I need to drink some water. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't like being sick. I don't like being sick at all. You're dead. Like all those stupid like call outs they use to summon their persona to use all their persona attacks. I just think that's iconic. But yeah, it's going to be sad to leave Revelations Persona behind, because the sad thing is that Revelations Persona is just so much more limited compared to its remake. Because if you didn't know, because I haven't mentioned it yet, or I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, Revelations Persona, otherwise known as Megami Ibunroku Persona, did have a 2010 or 2011 remake of it made for the PSP. The PSP version, at least in my opinion, is a lot more enjoyable from the times I've played it in the past. It's, at least in my opinion, way better. The story is the same, but the gameplay has been made so much better that, like, I would rather play that game 100 times over than the original PS1 version. You may ask me, why in the hell did you play the original PS1 version? 1, I like to hurt myself. 2, it's the original game. I'm not going to skip it. Like, I played SMT 1, 2, and IF all on their original SNES versions. So it's like, if I played those on the original versions, there's a high chance I'm going to be playing Persona 1 on its original version. But I will tell you, I will be playing the remake at some point. At some point, I will be going in and actually playing the remake. And you may be wondering why. Well, I think we've already stated it through, like, chatters randomly asking throughout the game. But there is a completely second half to this game that was removed in the English version. There's a second, what's it called? A second campaign that can only be played in the original Japanese version. The code for the second half, or the second campaign, is in the English version. It does exist in here, but the triggers were removed for actually activating it. So the only way to play that original half of the game is by playing it in the Japanese version, and as you can tell, I don't speak Japanese, so I wouldn't be able to play that. But the nice thing about the 2011/2010, I don't remember when it came out, the remake is that the second half of the game was made available for English players, as the second half was translated, and they didn't remove any of the triggers. And the nice thing about the remake is it also has a much more faithful translation. So it loses some stuff, like Mark danced crazy, or my skin is white so you know I'm true, those weird moments, but it gains a much more faithful translation that makes it a lot more fun to play, because then you actually start understanding what the fuck the characters are talking about. So that's nice. And you may be wondering, why the hell am I talking about that? Well, at some point, I do want to tackle that second half of the game. It's not really canon, sort of, at least to the rest of the Persona series. Some may view it as such, some may not view it as that. At least for me, the second half of the game is not canon, at least from what I can tell. But it's still a really fun part of the game that I do want to tackle, but it's not going to be happening anytime soon. I do plan on playing the remake. I'll be playing the second campaign. Oh, God, I'm hurting myself. But I'm not going to be tackling it anytime soon. Oh, God, my fucking throat. It's no good. Please stop reflecting my attacks. Gotta hit the stop command. Damn you, don't you dare curse me. Don't you dare curse me, you bastards. Don't you dare kill me. I don't want to have to go back through this entire thing. Gotta love how slow this game is. That's one of the nice things about the remake. Way faster. Way faster. The game runs in a much better speed in the dungeon crawling parts, and it runs at a much better speed in the battle parts. So we don't have to sit around and worry about, like, all this shit going down. Oh, God, my fucking throat. I don't know. Can I check you guys? Let me see. Analyze. Demon Analyze. You guys don't really tell me anything. You're really worthless, Demon Analyzer. Let's see. I guess I'm going to have to do physical attacks. That's one thing that I have not been focusing on at all. Physical attacks are, like, ultimately useless in this game, just due to their relative weakness. Some people really recommend using, like, the sword command early in the game, but, like, really in this situation, the sword command is not worth much, seeing as it won't be raising your Persona level, only raising your regular level, and you want to be raising your Persona level because you need it to, 1, fuse Personas, for 2, to use Personas. So it's an odd feature. It's an odd feature, I tell you. God, I hate recording videos when I'm sick. I don't do it very often. I just really wanted to get Persona 1 done. And it's not for a lack of, I hate this game. It's more for a full of, I really don't want to grind anymore, and I kind of want to move on. But yeah, I will be telling you what game I'm going to be playing next in my MegaTen marathon. It's kind of clear-cut, since by the time this video is uploaded, you can probably check on my stream schedule what games I'm streaming next, and you'll be able to tell what's the next game in my MegaTen/Persona marathon, since we were playing MegaTen, now we're switching over to the Persona series, so it's kind of its own thing, really. But I just call it MegaTen because everything can be pounded as MegaTen. The MegaTen marathon will be going on ever further, because it doesn't stop. It don't stop here with this MegaTen train, with this Japanesey games. They're Japanesey, they're quite cheesy. And so is my fucking throat right now. But yeah, I will be detailing at the end of the video, what my final, what my next MegaTen game will be. I also don't know how long this video is going to be. It could be over an hour long. These final videos usually tend to be at least over an hour long to get the final dungeon done. and to finish up any story sections. Let's see. Am I going the wrong way? I'm going a new way, but I don't know if it's the right way. One thing I really don't enjoy from this game is the encounter rate. Like in other MegaTen games, I can actually use spells like Estoma and stuff like that to lower the encounter rate or just stop the encounter rate completely, which the remake does include the usage of Estoma and stuff like that. God damn. You fuckers just can't leave me alone, can you? I just want to escape from these battles. The escape feature just never seems to work in this game. Yeah, I can never escape from a battle, no matter how many times I try. It's like infinite, you cannot escape. You cannot escape. And it never works. Like, I can never actually escape a battle. Which is real sad, because I would love to escape a fucking battle for once. Because, like, I don't need experience anymore. I can't even use my experience. Come on. You can't escape. I don't really know what determines if I can escape or not. All I know is that usually I never escape, and I gotta deal with that. And I have to fight my way through a fight, which takes like 30 minutes sometimes, just to, like, you know, sit there and get my ass beaten for a while. When it's like, all I want to do is get to the boss. And these battles take forever. I could definitely win it. I just don't want to try anymore. Please. Please let me go. Let me go. Let me go. But yeah, in the remake, they do introduce spells that do lower encounter rates within dungeons, which is incredible because that means that I don't have to worry about this shit like that. But it doesn't change the fact that I still have to deal with it in this version of the game. And no matter how many times I try and escape, the escape feature never works in this game. I don't actually know if the escape feature works better in the remake. I don't really ever try to escape in the remake because I'm... Oh, there we go. Took like 6 tries, but I did it. Really annoying. I have to revive Mark now. But yeah, it's just awfully annoying. I don't know if it has something to do with like the team's combined agility stat or something like that. It would make sense if that were, but I haven't seen any difference in that, so yeah. But either way, even without final personas for all the characters, I feel that each character has a pretty good thing. I don't like that. I don't want to go that way. I don't know, it just reeks of that's going to set you back. It's like, I don't want to touch that. I really don't want to touch that. See, there's some stairs. Can I get on the stairs? Nope. What way have I not gone then? I'm like, where am I? I mean, the video world is quite a complicated dungeon. Goes all over the place, and it never makes a lick of sense, in my opinion. It's just like, I don't know where I'm going or how I'm going. All I know is I am going. I wish I knew. Oh boy, I wish I knew where I was going. God, my throat hurts. I'm going to be saying that a lot during this video. Yeah, this could be a very long one. This could be like up to 2 hours for all I know. And that would probably mean that I would want it to be a stream, but it's like, you know, the last 2 series that I did in MegaTen didn't end up being streams, so I wanted it to be somewhat realigned with that, I guess. I guess I should start using everybody to help out. Everybody can start helping. Let's see. Heal up a bit. Curse. The Curse of Azkaban. Another thing I like about this game is that even with its kind of botched English translation, it still has some really good lines. Like, some pretty good-ass lines. Like, the lines when they talk to the harem queen at the very beginning of the game, some of the points where they just, like, tell you to kill yourself or all this kind of stuff. Like, you can definitely tell the edge is turned up, and I have no idea how words like the R word and telling people to kill themselves got through, like, translation without, like, being censored in some way. But I'm glad they didn't censor it, because we have moments like the characters telling Selena to kill herself as an insult, and she just sends us all back to the beginning of the dungeon. Just, like, funny shit like that, I can definitely appreciate. I have no clue. I don't think that would be in the new translation. And I would, in fact, think that would never be in the new translation, but, like, it's just funny that they exist anyway. God, my throat. One thing I'm worried about is walking up to the final boss without enough SP to get through it. That would be a hell of a problem.
You're dead.
You're dead. No, I'm not. I'm Siler. God. The pain I am in. It's quite immense. I don't appreciate it. Oh boy. But yeah, all the demon designs are also really nice in this game because, like, back in the first 3 games that we played, you never really get to see any of the demons from, like, an isometric view. You only get to see them from that head-on view. So seeing, like, representations of demons in a more 3D-ish sprite, I think is really nice. And, like, even though the personas in this game never really show up in later games in the same way that you look at them here, it's still really nice to see some personas be of characters that, like, you wouldn't really think would ever get personas. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. This is a dead end. This is the wrong room. It's also great that, like, when you check down a certain way, that means that now you have to get into a battle as you run away from the battle. Oh, boy. Or run away from that random way that you were trying to go. Oh, boy. It's like all I want to do is get through this dungeon. The sad thing is that the video world is just so large that, like, getting through it just takes hours. Just takes hours and hours and hours. Let's see. Sorry, I've been dying quite a bit. Let's see. I'm looking up more maps because I think this dungeon has even more maps than I even think there is. There must be more. There must be more. Let's see. Persona of Video World map. I don't know how big the Video World is. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, yes, it's even bigger. It's an 8-floor dungeon. It's not just 4 floors. It's 8 floors. And they're all fucking massive. So it's like, damn. And these are all for the PSP version. The maps that I've been using are all for the PSP version. So therefore, none of them have been completely accurate to where I need to go. So therefore, I've just been kind of rambling around trying to figure out where to go this entire game. And it's not been working well. Not been working well at all. Oh, God. So therefore, I'm like wandering around in a place that I don't completely understand. It's like by the end, I'm horribly turned around. It's like I think we're on floor 3, or at least part 3, and then we're going to part 4. This entire place is just so confusing, and I wish it wasn't like that. I really wish it wasn't like that, but sadly it is. Sadly, you're fucked. And with like 5 million battles happening at the same time, this is like nowhere near fun at all. So I think a better idea right now is that I'm probably going to go ahead and stop talking and speed up our progression through the dungeon. And, I'll see you guys once we get to where we need to get to.
Okay, I'm back after that very long crawl through the dungeon. I just found something horribly infuriating. Oh boy. So, the maps that I've been using for like getting through this game, I was getting from this like paper walkthrough and stuff like that, and it was so long. It was always hard to get these maps because like the website wouldn't load correctly, so trying to scroll down to a certain point would just break the website. So I was like, okay, I don't know where any of these maps are coming from. So I've been searching throughout the entire playthrough, trying to figure out where the hell I can find a map of this place. And I finally, right before I started recording this episode, found a website that gives all of the maps for the game. But I thought they only had the PSP versions. Turns out, I should have clicked on the button that said PS version. Now I have the entire map of the video world in the PS1 version. So, stupid boy. The reason I never found this website is because the entire website is in Japanese. It's completely in Japanese. So, search results weren't bringing this thing up like snap. So, that's really infuriating because now I have a map for the entire game. I just couldn't use it the entire time. So, that's really annoying. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the description. Hopefully I remember. If I don't remember, fucking tell me. I'll put it in the description. And this website is called, well, it doesn't really have a name. The URL is, Kyoru, it is kyoryakusushin.com/persona/chart, whatever the hell. It's really annoying, but hopefully I'll put that in the description. It's been really helpful. I wish I had that at the beginning of the game. Either way, we're right on the final floor of the video world, so therefore we're getting really close to the boss. So I decided to, step back into the commentating state. But yeah, that last battle that we had right during the speed up, that was really scary because almost all my characters died in one battle. And they're back again. It's these little whatever the fuck these things are. Little blue boys, they are really bad and really strong. So therefore I have to be somewhat careful. These guys almost wiped my entire team last time. So let's not let that happen, okay? Let's kill these little green alien dudes or whatever. They've got the lightning skill. Oh boy. I'm just glad that Mark resists it, or Mark can't take damage from it. Because like I'm showing you, it's wiping out my team. It's taking my team out of the fucking place because their lightning skill. As long as I can get Maki. Okay, they're running away now, so thank God. Yeah, these little fucking gremlin alien boys are extremely annoying, and they just paralyzed Mark. I'm like, this is awful because now only Maki can attack, and Mark can't heal. So that's really annoying. This is obviously very frightening right here, seeing as both Breeze and Reiji are weak to electricity for some reason, or just take massive amounts of damage from it. So if they're allowed to do that attack 5 million times in a row, they can just kill my team. It's like, Jesus, guys. Fucking let me move. Okay. This is really bad. This is obviously horribly bad right now. Because I can't get Mark unparalyzed. I can try and go for a kill right here, maybe. It's like, Jesus, only Mark can defend it, and Mark can't move. Mark is literally trapped in place. It's like I'm dealing with these little gremlin fucking alien things, and they're going to be the end of me right as I'm at the final part of the dungeon. And Mark just can't move. Mark, can you please? Mark, please. The only way I can win is if I just hope that Nanjo can just survive their attacks and doesn't get paralyzed as well. It's like, Jesus. It's scary, man. And it's just these guys having a fucking heart attack, loving to spam this lightning attack. Why do you guys gotta be such dicks? Why do you gotta be such dicks, little gremlin alien guys? I thought we were friends, even though we were never friends, but still. I thought we were friends. Everybody is dead, and I'm scared. Okay, I got rid of one of them. Mark? I'm like, Mark, please. Mark, please. I don't have any way of getting health back. I think square. Okay. This brings up stuff like this. Resuscitate. I will resuscitate Maki. I guess that's the only option I have. Just hope that Nate Nanjo doesn't get paralyzed. Okay, you better not do it. Fuck. Okay, well now that counts as a death. I have to do that all over again. Okay, so after multiple hours of screaming uncontrollably as I watched the skateboard boy after getting murdered in Persona 1, I finally made my way back to the final boss. And this time, we're right outside her door, so therefore I hopefully don't have to worry about a random encounter showing up completely bricking me out of getting to the final boss, so that's a big hope. Either way, my throat still hurts, but nonetheless, we now must enter into the final boss of Revelations Persona. Hope you guys are ready for some horrible voice acting. Well, hi, Maki. Well, that's not creepy at all. Totally not creepy, giant vagina monster. Vishnu. Maybe for the last time we have to see Vishnu. We'll miss you. Well, anyway, yeah. That's Pandora. And this room is fucking freaky looking. And that's Pandora with Maki's face on its vagina. Psst. Psst. Is this also me? This is Pandora? Look, behind the creature is at the heart of the Deva system.
So finally, you've made it here. Psst. I finally found the gate to paradise. I won't let anyone else have it. I'm going to make my own world with this. A world where nothing exists.
No, that's not the gate to paradise. That's Pandora's box. It contains all the evil within.
Everything has been wasted. Your existence means nothing. Waste shouldn't exist. Be gone. Vanish.
All right. Vishnu. We'll miss you, Vishnu. Anyway. This is the final boss.
We should all die together.
This is Pandora, the final boss of Revelations Persona. And it's got a hell of a design, being the fifth part of Maki's consciousness. Pandora is the part of Maki that wants the entire world to vanish. Her nihilism all put into one giant monolithic creature. And it's weird looking. I've always interpreted it as just a giant monster with its vagina inside out, because that's what it looks like. I'm allowed to put it on YouTube because it's so abstract that you wouldn't even be able to really tell what it is. But to me, it looks like a giant vagina creature, which I guess it doesn't make any sense at all. I guess just creators went for substance over meaning. But either way, we must now defeat Pandora, and she is the strongest boss in the game, and is the entire reason why I grinded Amon Ra up to rank 8. Because if you've been seeing throughout this episode, you see that Amon Ra has the attack boss damage. Now, I'm going to, it may take you a second. I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds or 10 seconds to put in the comments what you think this weapon, what this thing does. So, 1, 2, 3, it hurts the boss. Boss damage is an attack also known as, let me go ahead and get its real name up. Where is Amon Ra? There it is. This attack is actually known in Japanese as hieroglyphanine, and is the only attack
that Pandora is weak to. Pandora resists all other attacks, or resists most attacks. She doesn't null them or repel them, if I'm aware. But the one thing she gets hurt by, super effectively, is boss damage. Boss damage is the strongest move that you can use against her, and is the entire reason why I grinded up Amon-Ra. But if you don't have it, she can be a little bit of a hard boss, seeing as she has many buffs that she can use. But either way, boss damage for the win! The rest of everybody else will kind of just help out. As you can see, we don't have as many moves as we once did, because literally, I just ran through the video world as fast as possible, because I was so pissed that I died at the very end. Either way, I've never actually fought, what's her name? This thing. So, we're going to see how strong Pandora is. Also, I just love how creepily horror-esque she is. She's a giant, like, vagina creature in a room filled with, like, human mouths. It's a creepy-looking image, and I think it just works so well as, like, a dive into Maki's psyche, because that's pretty much what the entire game is. A giant dive into Maki's psyche to try and understand why she had such, hardline nihilism, because it was pretty strong, and this is how strong it can become if somebody lets their nihilism go as far as possible. Also, they have Petrify, which is not good because that means that Mark is pretty much dead. So, yeah, I don't know how many tries Pandora is going to take. All I know is that this is going to be a tough fight that could take a couple of times to attack, but it's such a cool boss. Either way, boss damage, go! Just such a funny name. Boss damage. Go, boss damage! Yeah, it does a shit ton of damage to her, so that's why you want boss damage. Boss damage is good. Either way, I'm going to have to go ahead and heal up Mark somehow, which means I need to find something that restores him from being petrified. I don't really know. Cure petrification. I think that works. Either way, just got to keep increasing our magic power, because if I can boost our magic power up, Pandora is going to be taking a shit ton of damage. At least I hope. The other thing that strategy guides recommend to defeat Pandora is physical damage, because apparently she is quite weak to physical damage, but I'm like, I don't really care. Either way, that cured Mark's paralysis, or petrification, which we only had one of those, so we can't really cure that anymore, which really sucks, but we'll work with it. I don't even think Mag Up even affects the power of boss damage. At least I'm not sure. It could be something interesting that we have to look into, but yeah. This boss fight can be extremely dangerous, because if the entire gang gets petrified, just like how we saw in the last battle against that those little gray boys, we will just instantly die. Also, boss damage has the title of question mark, which means that not even the characters know what boss damage does. Not even they understand what their own attacks do. Let's see. For now, I know that those dropping skills are worthless because of what, like, chatters told me. Anyway, let's see. Make HP recovery impossible. I don't think that works on a boss. Whatever, just keep going for Axe Bomb. Either way, all we can do is really just pelt the fuck out of her until she's dead. It would be good to understand how much health she has, so I'm going to go to the wiki and try and understand how much fucking health does she have as a final boss. Oh boy. Let's see, where is she? Okay. She has, holy shit, 1,222 damage. Jeez. Hieroglypherin, or whatever the fuck it's actually called, is quite strong against her, which makes me happy that I actually brought that all the way up, because without it, I would have been completely screwed. So, thank God I actually got boss damage. Without it, this would have taken much longer. Like, the Kandori boss was tough without the right things. But now, Pandora's going fucking down, dude. She's going fucking down. Either way, she has 5,826 health. So she is, she's strong. She is quite strong, so I should be aware of that as possible. She also resists, she nulls death and expel, so therefore don't use those moves on her, but it's not like I was going to plan on using that. Just keep on attacking. Just hit her as hard as possible, everybody. It's the only way. She's also level 85, so that's interesting, I guess. Don't really care about their level, as their level doesn't really matter. Also, thank God that the Fool persona that I put onto Nanjo has that magic upskill. It's pretty much just Magikaja, or Magikaja. Oh. Oh no. Oh no, it went back inside. And she ballooned into a beautiful butterfly. Whoa. Yeah, Mark. Definitely whoa. It's beautiful. Please give up. Please. If you can tell, it kind of does look like a giant Maki. So, it's very interesting. Either way, this is the second form of Pandora. We are now in the second stage of the fight. And she is even more dangerous than the last one. She is even more dangerous, so be careful. She also has a secondary form that she could switch into at any time, so be careful. She has 15,000 health, so this is going to be a hard fight even with boss damage on her side. But she is also extremely weak to physical damage, so the rest, she actually drains every other magic spell, so just hit her with physical hits, and then she's pretty much dead. She takes a shit ton of damage to physical hits. I guess I'll put attack back on. I remember that being a really strong move. Does anybody need any healing? Breeze could use some healing. Guess I'll just heal all for now. And then, you know, Rage, you can just hit him with an axe. But yeah, this is the final boss. The final boss is a giant butterfly woman. It's nice to not have to look at the vagina creature, though. I kind of liked the vagina creature a little bit more than giant butterfly girl, but in a way it makes sense, because it's like, you know, she has bloomed into a butterfly because the entire dungeon looks like a giant, like, bunch of webs. So you can see it as like a giant cocoon that she's been hiding in that we just need to take her out of. You're going straight to hell, damn it. Yeah, your physical hits ain't worth shit. Physical hits ain't worth shit. Also, I guess she gets 2 like moves in a row, which is not very fun, but whatever, I guess. I mean, it isn't a MegaTen final boss if they don't get to hit me multiple times in a row. So, you know, it fits. It fits. Either way, I'd like to drink this water because my throat still hurts. Sadly, I don't have Tarukaja. That would be very helpful, but I don't get that, so that sucks. Anyway, back to Magic Up. Nobody really needs a heal. I guess for now, just hit him with your fucking axe, dude. You just keep doing that. Hit him with your axe, Mark. Wing flap. That does like no damage. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what just happened there, but one of my characters just screamed out in pain. So I don't really understand what happened, but okay. God, my throat. Sucks that the final episode has to include a very sick me, but, you know, sometimes you get sick in real life. Oh, God, my neck fucking kills me. But yeah, this final boss is a lot more different than any other final boss that I've faced in a MegaTen game, because usually I'm fighting either, like, an angel or a god or some kind of demon lord. I'm literally just fighting the psyche of, like, one of our best friends from school, so it's like, it's very odd in that way. It makes the story feel a lot more, like, personal versus, like, just attacking God and stuff like that. This is about, like, trying to save a friend. And that's really not doing good. It needs our help to try and, like, save her and stuff like that. So, you know, I like how personal. That's another part of the story that I really like. I like how more personal and down-to-earth the story feels, because it doesn't feel like a world-ending catastrophe happening. It's just like, I mean, it is, but it's like we're trying to save our friend and stuff like that. So I just like that part. Either way, she's switched into her second form now, and she's completely switched around what the hell she does and what she's resistant to. Because she is no longer weak to physical attacks. She's now mostly weak to random, like, what's it called? Magical attacks, which is great because we've literally just been like, boosting our magic and shit. As you can see, our physical damage has gone down way more. Even though boss damage does not change its effectiveness. And thank God for boss damage. I would not be able to beat this game without it, so thank you, boss damage. Either way, attack. Keep boosting that. Red fire. She's actually weak to fire, electric, and a bunch of other things that I don't really understand. That I do not understand. You just punch him in the face, dude. Punch him in the face, Reiji. I really don't know why Reiji's still in the story, but I think it's mostly because after defeating Kandori, he still views you guys as, like, good friends. So it's like, he's still going to help you out and try and save Maki, because he views Maki as a friend, so. Very nice in that way. I just love all their character growths. Like, sure, the main character doesn't have much of a character growth, but Maki and Reiji, Nanjo, and even Mark in some way, they all have some kind of character growths that are very nice in my opinion. Also, she has now started switching between her two forms. So that's cool, I guess. Definitely not annoying. And the sad thing is that she now drains everything instead of, being weak to it. So now we gotta switch our strategy back. Thank God for Reiji doing that, since Reiji can actually hit you now. But now she drains fire, so she's gonna drain all this attack that Mark's about to do to her. What are you about to do to me? I'm about to give you 248 health. It's like, damn. If only I could do that too. Whatever the fuck that means. They can't do that anymore. So shoot her in the face. Shoot her in the goddamn face. And hit her with a goddamn axe. You got this, guys. Like, I would really... I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this wiki to help me out. So thank God for the MegaTen wiki. Because I wouldn't know what to fucking do at this point, but... I still would have known just spam the shit out of boss damage. It's the only way you're defeating this boss properly, so, thank God I'm doing that. Thank God I'm doing that. Anyway, blow her up. Blow her up, Breeze. This is your final triumph, Breeze. The triumph of the Breeze. That would be like the final episode of the backlog. The triumph of the Breeze. Also, I did 2012 damage. It truly is the apocalypse. I'm using 2012 against her, the movie, to be more exact. Alright, shoot her in the fucking face. In a way, it feels like... It just really feels like... like Pandora is so pathetic that I'm just wasting her at this point. It's very pathetic. She also doesn't heal her health back, which is very nice. But it's like, she feels so pathetic at this point, so it's like... Nice to see a final boss that doesn't make me want to die. I mean, then again, beating Yahweh in SMT2 after activating the Tarokaja glitch was a hell of a thing, dude. Like, it was fun, but it was also super ass annoying, but go back and watch my SMT2 Let's Play if you want to see how weird that got. Either way, that's another thing. Persona 1, even though it's, like, really obtuse, there's not many glitches in the entire game. There's no glitches that really work against the players, like, to the player's detriment, so... I can really enjoy that the game is stable. And that's something that I can at least appreciate, because old MegaTen games, while they're great, are also extremely unstable sometimes, so I'm glad that this game at least held together the whole time. And there you go. See you around, Pandora. Vishnu. And that marks the end of Revelations Persona. It's been a long one, but it's been a good one. Why don't you kids just give up? How can you be so strong? You should know why. Because we're not alone. And my voice is all fucked up because I'm sick. Because we believe in ourselves. No one can live alone. When things get tough, just turn around. I'm right behind you. Oh no, right behind you. You and I are the parts of the same Maki, a friend of everyone here. Enough is enough. Let's be one again. Thank you. And now, since Maki accepts Pandora, they can finally be one again. It's over. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. This is goodbye, but I'll never forget any of you. What do you mean, goodbye? I'm just a shadow of Maki. I can't go with you, but it was really fun. Maki, this can't be happening. Damn. We're heading back to the real world. Oh, I'm still here. I guess I'll be here for the rest of the time, then. I sent everyone back to the real world. Breeze, before I send you back, may I have a word with you? I guess. Aww. Even in sprites, it's cute. Thank you. Remember me from time to time, okay? Goodbye. I've always loved you. Damn. That sucks, but then again, there's still the real Maki. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Breeze. We'll miss you, Breeze. As another part of our random MegaTen protagonist collection. Philemon.
There is nothing more for me to say. You have found your way back to the world as it should be. The smile on your face is no longer a mask, but your true self. No longer do you have to fear when you encounter problems, troubles, or pains. Just ask yourself who you are. You now will be able to withstand any adversaries and conflicts that may arise in your life. Go now into a bright and promising future.
His face looks kind of creepy, but it doesn't ruin the moment to the point that it was very nice to see Philemon one last time. And I gotta say, I love the Philemon cutscenes. Even though they're creepy, I love them. Oh, there he goes. We'll see you again, Philemon. Oh, we'll see you again. And the town of Lunarvale went back to normal. After the series of incidents, the town gained worldwide attention, and now everything is back to normal. Weird sentence right there, but okay. I guess everything went back to normal because it has worldwide attention. I don't know. Random Japanese town. Seebeck and the name Guido became internationally renowned. The names of the students who were involved never became known. We faded back into obscurity. Time has passed. Memories of the incident sank deep into their consciousness. The boys and girls who found their identities began to walk into the future, not knowing what will happen. Vishnu. See you around, Vishnu. Oh, after hearing you whine so much, I'm surprised you even came. What's wrong with you? Are you not feeling well?
Mark, I heard that you're afraid of heights.
What's up?
Brad's been spreading it all over town, or Brown. I'm looking forward to seeing you cry like a woman.
Okay, Reiji, calm down. Damn, this will be good. I want to see Mark cry like a woman. Damn, Brown. Him and his stupid mouth. What are you all laughing at? That's not it. I'm not going anymore. Hey guys, did you wait? What happened? Why is everyone laughing? Yeah, it's the real Maki. Very different looking face. Maki, Breeze, you guys came at the right time. Seems like Mark doesn't want to come with us. Too bad. What? Why? I was looking forward to this too. Shut the hell up, Nate, Nanjo. Is it true, Mark? Well, no, I'm going. Cool. Selena and everyone else is waiting outside. Let's go. Seems like she's gotten a lot better. Both of y'all better remember this.
Anyway, doesn't Maki seem like a different person?
Pandora.
What's up? You still thinking about that?
I just remembered the last thing that Pandora left behind. Anyway, we should get going now, Breeze. And the thing about that is that in the legend of Pandora's box, Pandora was given the box and stuff and had like an extraordinary amount of like curiosity. So when she opened the box who was given to her by Zeus, all the evils of the world ran out of the box. And right when she closed it, the only thing left in the box was hope. So that's what was left in the box, which I guess is what Maki got in the end. Anyway, we should get going now, Breeze. I guess we should.
Wait up. What was it?
Hurry up, Breeze. Vishnu. And there marks the ending of Revelations Persona. Hell of a game. The graduating class. And now we get a little bit of an epilogue on all the characters at least. Maki. With her sickness cured, Maki has now become a mature young lady. She has won many art awards, and good things are happening in her life. She's happy with her mother now, and has a new boyfriend. Wonder who that is. I wonder who that could be. Anyway, are you gonna progress? There you go. Also, they're playing the opening music again, which I really like that opening music. This is some great music they're playing right now. It's like my favorite song in the game. Mark went to New York to study art. His avant-garde style in art has won acclaim with the critics, and he's having the time of his life. But yeah, this music, I love this song. It's just so hopeful and, like, powerful at the very end of a very dark game, which shows, like, hope for all these characters in the future. Also has a mixture of the Velvet Room song, the Hymn of Souls, so I like it. In disguise, Nanjo lands a job in one of his companies his family owns. He finds out firsthand how cruel the business world can be. His arrogance from the past has turned into compassion for all people. He also has the number 1 on his ascot. You might want to pay attention to this character. He's going to be important later. And then again, he was a main character in this game, but pay attention to Kei Nanjo. Reiji, you never put your goddamn shirt on. Reiji, relieved from his life driven by revenge, Reiji has started to walk a normal life. He is now a husband and a father of 1 child. His friend Mark met his son immediately and noticed the trait of a loner. So, pretty much, father like son. Son like father. Same difference. I guess they all still kept in contact after this, so that's nice to learn. How he came to be, well, that's up for you to decide. I can't really decide that, but you know, it's just saying you need to stay true to yourself. Now, we're at the credits. And well, I already gave my thoughts on the game right before we went into the final boss, and you know, I think those thoughts still stay true. The final of Video World is still bullshit for kicking me back at the very end of it with a really bullshit enemy. But we are now done with Revelations Persona, and I will say it's been a hell of a journey. I never thought I would actually beat this game in my lifetime, but you know, I at least proved to myself. Game, don't spoil what's down there. We'll get to that many years from now, I would say. Don't worry about those castles. We'll learn about them someday. But yes, this is where we end Revelations Persona. And I'll tell you, the next game that we're going to in our MegaTen marathon of, like, forever, we'll be heading to the sequel to Revelations Persona, or Megami Ibunroku Persona. We'll be heading to Persona 2, Innocent Sin. That's going to be a hell of a something. Hope you guys will stay tuned. I have nothing else to say. So, I'll see you guys next time on The Backlog.
And before I end this episode, I want to thank all of my YouTube members, including the Disciples of Epsilon, Valric, Amber, and Phoenix. Without you all, this channel would not stay afloat. So thank you for all your support. And I'll see you guys next time on The Backlog.